A recent study has identified the symptoms of neck pain and found that neck problems were more common in show jumpers. So let's get into it. The purposes of this large 3-part study were to establish which clinical features were more likely to be seen in horses with caudal neck problems compared with control horses, and to relate these to the presence of the congenital variants of the 6th and 7th cervical vertebrae and other radiological abnormalities. The 2-center study was restricted to all warm blood horses evaluated consecutively at UC Davis, California in the USA, and the Animal Health Trust in the UK over a 2-year period. All horses were examined using a comprehensive predefined protocol by 2 experienced clinicians, Professor Monica Allman and Dr. Sue Dyson. Systematic standardized clinical assessments were performed to assess posture, muscle development, range of motion, reaction to palpation, and movement patterns in all gaits, in hand and on the lunge, and when appropriate, also ridden. Additional tests such as walking up and down steps or blindfolding were performed in selected horses to assess neurological dysfunction. There were 96 case horses and 127 control horses. Cases comprised horses with neck pain or stiffness, which was not explained by other problems unrelated to the neck, those with forelimb lameness attributable to the neck, or those with incoordination and weakness, consistent with compression of the spinal cord in the neck region. The results from these case horses were compared with control horses, which were either working comfortably and undergoing pre-purchase examinations or had another problem, such as lameness, which was abolished by nerve blocks of the affected limbs. The data were analyzed statistically, and the results presented are those in which there were statistically significant differences between case horses and control. Highlights of this study include neck problems were more common in show jumpers. Hind limb lameness was not attributable to neck problems. Problems that can masquerade as being related to the neck may reflect a different problem. Radiological abnormalities in the neck do not mean that the horse will show clinical signs of pain. Anatomical variations may be present at birth in the shape of the neck vertebrae, the size or presence of the first rib, the symmetry of a large muscle which extends under the neck and thoracic vertebrae. Horses diagnosed with neck problems showed symptoms such as patchy sweating on the neck, abnormal reactions to touch, pain response to pressure applied over the neck joints, restricted range of motion of the neck, occasional neck locking, pain response when a forelimb was passively extended forward, abnormal posture when grazing, low head and neck carriage, restricted angle of motion of the neck when turning in small circles, tilting of the head and neck, uneven rein tension, marked resistance to turning in one direction, hopping type forelimb lameness, forelimb stumbling or tripping, forelimb lameness, more variable when ridden to a contact compared with on a loose rein or vice versa, stopping spontaneously during work, and standing with a forelimb non-weight bearing. A short, low stepping forelimb gait in canter, exasperation of forelimb lameness after nerve blocks, or weakness and incoordination. So yeah, what do you guys think? I personally think that was a really interesting study. However, I personally wish it had addressed, say, why show jumpers seem to have more neck pain than, say, horses from other disciplines. Because I'm going to be super honest here. I would have thought that dressage horses would have had more neck pain than show jumpers. Like when I think about Rollkur or that overflexion of the neck that you see so often in dressage now, I would have just assumed for sure that it would have been dressage horses that had more neck pain than jumpers. So this is actually a surprise to me that, like the opposite is the case, or seems to be, at least in this study. Maybe their next study will be like, why though? Like why show jumpers have more neck pain than other disciplined horses? I hope so, because I would really love to know like the reason behind that. But anyways, what do you guys think about all this? I'd love to hear your thoughts, so please let me know in the comments below.